Good morning, everyone. I will call to order our regularly scheduled meeting of the Committee of the Whole. My name is Elizabeth Glidden, and I am the chair of this committee. And I'm joined today by a quorum of our committee, including council members Gordon, Cano, Andrew Johnson, council members Yang, Quincy, Warsami, Goodman, Fry, and Palmisano. And I just want to express regrets on behalf of the council president that she was unable to join us this morning. I will say we have a very short meeting of the Committee of the Whole today. We do not have any independent agenda and discussion items, and so our meeting is focused on reports of committees. And our first report is from the Executive Committee. And normally Council President Johnson would give that report. I was not in attendance, and so I'm going to ask Council, who all was there? Councilmember Gordon, please, our minority leader, to give that report.
Thank you very much. The Executive Committee just discussed two issues. One of them was the interim designation of Jay Strobel as interim city coordinator effective May 10 for a period not to exceed 90 days. And the other was a tentative labor agreement, which was with the electricians unit represented by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and that was forwarded to Ways and Means as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will continue on with all of these unless I see questions. We are using speaker management if you would have a question, just so that you know that. Next, we have Community Development and Regulatory Services with Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. There are 11 items on our agenda for approval tomorrow. Item number 1 is a land sale. Item number 2 is the mobile food stores ordinance. This is allowing mobile grocery stores for staple foods, and we did hear some testimony about how these will primarily be in areas that are food deserts, which I think is why there's been so much support for this ordinance. Item number 3 is recommendation to revoke a rental license. Item 4 is liquor, beer, and gambling licenses. Item 5 is a condition on a rental dwelling license. Item 6 are some changes to our energy efficiency business loan program guidelines, and the item 7 is the Trillion BTU energy efficiency loan program. Just a few technical changes in the programs. Item number 8 is really notable. It's authorizing a contract with U.S. Bank for our step-up interns to be able to get their payroll on prepaid debit cards. This is part of the unbanking initiative. Perhaps Councilmember Quincy wants to talk about it. It's a really great thing because these young people then don't need to go and cash checks and pay fees, but they can use a prepaid debit card to get paid by us. So I think it's a really good step in the right direction. Item number 9 is really has to do with SAC credits and the Downtown East development plan. This is to keep the SAC credits on site, which is consistent with our policy. Item 11 are two TBRA, TOD site investigation grant applications, and item 11 is authorizing a contract with Architectural Alliance and Sync Home Delfts for engineering and design services at the Target Center. I'm happy to answer any questions on 1 through 11.
All right, thank you very much, Councilmember Goodman. Next, we have Health, Environment, and Community Engagement. With that, Chair, Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. The Health, Energy, and Community Engagement Committee will be bringing 4 items forward for approval. One of them is passage of an ordinance amending Title 10, Chapter 204, having to do with environmentally acceptable packaging. We had a lengthy public hearing, and that passed the committee unanimously. The second is authorizing execution of internship agreements with Augsburg College and Bethel University to allow school-based clinic program to be a practical training site for students enrolled in their programs. The third is a contract with Tree Trust for landscaping consultation and tree planting services. And the fourth item is authorizing an increase to a contract with Wilson Custom Tree for $75,000 to continue the work of tree remediation in North Minneapolis related to tornado damaged trees. I'm happy to take questions if anybody has any.
Thank you, Councilmember Gordon. Next, we have intergovernmental relations, and for that, there was just one item, and that was to execute Amendment Number 2 to a contract with Faegre BD Consulting for continued services for a one-year period through February 28th, 2015. Next, we have Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Emergency Management with that committee's chair, Councilmember Yang.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. We have 3 items. The first item is to authorize staff to sign a master cooperative agreement, an ancillary agreement, and a procurement agreement for a 5-agency consortium shared hosted next generation 911 calling or call handling system solution. And it had a few big contracts there. The second item is to authorize acceptance of a grant award of $1,250, which the fire department will use to purchase cardiac science power heart AED G3 batteries. And the third item is passage of a resolution authorizing acceptance of 60 smoke alarms from the Minnesota Safety Council to the fire department.
All right, thank you very much. Not seeing questions. Next, we have taxes with Councilmember Warsame.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And we have one item, which is the 2014 Board of Appeals and Equalization, to approve the 2014 Board of Appeal and Equalization Special Board of Review Report.
All right, thank you very much. Next, we have Transportation and Public Works with that committee's chair, Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The committee will be forwarding 14 items. Item 1 is the 2014 alley resurfacing program. Item 2 is the 40th Street East-West Street resurfacing project. 3 and 4 are approving applications for large block events. Item 5 is the Fridley filtration plant, and it's the ammonia system replacement. It's a contract adjustment. Item 6 is a quick claim deed replacement. Item 7 is the Intercity Regional Trail Cooperative Agreement with Three Rivers Park District and the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board relating to the Intercity Regional Trail. Item 8 is the 54th and Lindale Special Service District Advisory Board. And item 9 is the National Public Works Week. That'll be a passage resolution declaring the week of May 19, 2014 as the National Public Works Week. Item 10 is the Blue Line LRT extension, Botno Corridor DIS comments. The following items will be referred reports to Ways and Means Committee. Item 11 regards the street resurfacing at 4th Avenue South. Item 12 is the Hay Northwest Franklin Hall and Lynn Park area street resurfacing project. Item 13 is the LaSalle Avenue street resurfacing project, which goes from Grand Street West to 12th Street South, and the LaSalle Avenue Street reconstruction project that goes from 12th Street South to A Street South. There's a series of actions related to those projects. And then item 14 is a series of low bids and the request for their acceptance. I'll stand for questions, Madam Vice President.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Ways and Means with that committee's chair, Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Ways and Means will bring forward 12 items for your consideration on Friday. The first is a legal settlement. The second item is authorizing the city coordinator to enter into an agreement with Alliance on Race and Equity. The third item is the passage of resolution accepting gifts for the city of Minneapolis valued under $15,000. The next item is the approval and implementation of the payment card industry information security policy. We also have a authorized issuance of request for proposal for fully insured and self-insured plan funding for coverage effective January 1st of 2015 on the City of Minneapolis medical plan RFPs. The sixth item is authorizing an increase with Unisys Managed Services for computer-aided dispatch managed services contract. And next item is also from the IT department, authorizing and extending IT active master contracts through September 30th of 14. Also establishing a consulting pool through the city request for proposal process for services related to IT staff augmentation consulting pool for a period of 3 years in several different service categories. And also extending the contract with LinkedIn Corporation for 2 additional years through May 31st of 2016, aiding IT department in candidate recruitment. Also, a Gopher State One Call contract with Coraterra Inc. through 2017, using Coraterra's contract agreement form, and increasing that contract by $30,000 for a new not-to-exceed total of $107,000. The next item is extending a contract with A-Plus Systems through August 31st of 2015, provide power and connectivity to safety cameras in the 3rd and 4th police precincts. And the final item was from the Executive Committee related to the labor negotiations contract with the electricians unit. Happy to stand for any questions.
Thank you very much for that report. Our final report is from Zoning and Planning Committee. With that, Chair, Councilmember Bender.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. We have 4 items from Zoning and Planning. The first was an appeal filed by Diane Hofstad of a liquor store proposed at 80 Broadway Street Northeast, and the committee had a public hearing about this. We voted to deny the appeal with some changes, but talking with Councilmember Fry, it sounds like this item should go back to committee for further discussion. The changes that we request are going to change the plan pretty significantly, so it looks like it needs more discussion at Zoning and Planning. And I can let Councilmember Fry talk about that at the end here if you would like. The other 3 items 2, 3, and 4, were all on the consent agenda. The second item was passage of a resolution approving an application to vacate part of a utility easement to allow ground floor mechanical equipment additions at the Larive condominium. The third had 3 parts related to building for Life Source. The first was passage of a resolution to vacate multiple drainage and utility easements. The second is to authorize execution of the final utility easement relocation and construction agreement. The third is to authorize execution and recording of the declaration of drainage and utility easements. And the fourth item was to approve an application to rezone a property from R3 to C1 to allow for the Chow Girls catering business at 1401 Marshall Street Northeast.
Thank you for that report, and Councilmember Fry has put himself in queue. Councilmember Fry.
Thank you, Vice President Glidden. Yeah, regarding the proposed liquor store, I think we need another couple weeks just so I can go back to the neighborhood so that we can talk with the potential owner of the store, and if need be, we can change up the plan slightly and then have a discussion at ZNP. So I think this is the right decision.
All right. I'm not seeing any further business before us. I will say I thought we were going to have a closed session after our council meeting, but I'm not seeing it noticed on here. So this is just a heads up to council members that this must be more recent than the agenda being put together here. We will have a closed session after our council meeting on Friday. And with that, we are concluded with our business and we are adjourned. Thank you very much.